and casually walk out.
Say okay.
He's not going to miss it. He's got plenty of money. Don't worry about it. Once again, this is Kid Rock saying it's okay to illegally download music, and it's okay to steal anything else you need too. So go get them.
All right. Thanks.
Stay in school and stay off the drugs.
In the house.
Yeah,
With
hold on for a
Johnnie
second.
J.
Oh, on the oh shoot, but you okay. All right, thank you very much. Okay, thanks. Okay.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Now, can you hear the music?
Yep.
Okay. We're getting it started. A little bit crazy here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. All right. Oh, our artist is on East Coast, so I guess he's letting her know. All right. Give our introduction now.
Oh my God.
Of it. For here. Hope you're doing well. We promote whether they're physically disabled, blind, and any or all these. We help to lift up and say, "Hey, great!" We try to promote them, and that's what we do every day.
Oh my God. How dare you?
It's running out. Hi, everybody. This is the Godfather Soul James Brown. I tell you, this business is on. My man is on. Check him out. This is the Godfather Soul James Brown saying, stay with it and hit it. Okay, thank you.
Well, I just found out something. Our guest is on the on the East Coast.
My God.
Yes, on the East Coast. So 9 o'clock to her
Would have been
is
7 here.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess I did put in MT Mountain Time. So I guess she will be here eventually. So anyway, let's get into just introducing the show and maybe talking a little bit about the scripture I used for today. But we want to thank our sponsors in 2023. And that is Christian Brothers Moving Company and the Eeny Meeny Grant Foundation, which is kind of interesting name. I wonder how they came up with that name. And the Denver Arts and Venue Grant. So that's what we have today. And I guess for people on the East Coast, I thought it would, tell them the time and all that kind of stuff. But that's always interesting when you have people in a different time zone. And I guess she's from, we got to figure out that city again. Let me see.
Johnny,
Yes.
if you don't mind, I'm from the East Coast, so it should have come through.
Oh, it should,
The time should have come through here on our end because I'm from the East Coast as well, and on my end it said 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So
okay, all right. Hey, well, thank you for that, for letting me know. So hopefully she was paying attention because I sent that out overnight so I wanted people to get enough time to understand what was going on. But yes, I listened to some of her videos, and it was some interesting music, and I saw that she had like 140 let me see, 140 subscribers, and so I figure like if you have that many subscribers, you're well on your way as far as like what you can do as far as like getting fanships or fanfare or things of that sort. Hold on, I'm getting back to people. Don't forget the like, share, and so forth. So, and of course, you know, we're doing. So, the artist is Kardier Nicole, and remember, everybody, we're. Let's say I'm the engineer here, so everything is being done.
Here's easy. I was just gonna say you're about everything, man. You're running, filling all the positions on time.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And when I got into business, I never thought I would have to do all this stuff. I just wanted to talk, play music, and that's it. But as technology has come along, well, and then like in the radio studio, I mean, you have to cue up the songs, read the meters. This is back in the day, pushing the carts, which they don't use carts anymore. And so, yeah, so I guess, you know, they required us to do some stuff back then as well. So, so anyway, no, it's all good. I wanted to talk about the I'm gonna get, okay, there we are. Before we bring on Kardier Nicole from Pritchard, Alabama. You ever been there, Alan? Pritchard, Alabama?
No.
You heard that song? No. Black Betty. I think he misses like Alabama.
I've heard that song. Sure.
Oh yeah. I've heard of the place. I've never been to Alabama. I don't even think I've even been through there. My family mostly lives in Texas, but okay. Anyway, we got the scripture, and I put it on all of our platforms. So it's Titus chapter 2, verse 3, 4, 5, and 6.
That is one of the what do you call it? One of the shortest books in the Bible.
Oh yeah.
It's only a couple of chapters, as a matter of fact.
And you know, the funnest thing is, you know, I always like to think of a scripture that goes along with the show. And I said, well, let me go back into like Ephesians or Philippians. And I was about to read chapter 2, but I said, no, I'm gonna find something else. And I would have had this in the first announcements that I sent out, but now, you know, I put it out in this one, and it's like, it's really crazy. It's like, I said, this is perfect because Miss Nicole she's a mother and all that kind of stuff. So it just talks about teach the older women to be reverent. That's interesting. In the way they live, and not to be slanderers.
Wow. So
and not to be addicted to much wine. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, so slanderous, not to take people's name and spread it all over the place, gossip a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And not to be addicted to much wine.
Right.
Now we could say not to be addicted to cocaine, crack,
Whatever.
heroin.
Right.
Oh man, because I used to know this lady, and she gave birth to a baby, and the baby was cracked out because she was cracked out. So but a lot of people, and she would, sometimes she would go to church, but I think she went to church because she liked to wear those pretty dresses, and she would carry her Bible, but I don't think she ever cracked that Bible. So anyway, yeah. Then they can train the younger women.
What?
Now, okay. Nowadays, a lot of the women are, maybe they get pregnant at 15, 16. And so when they have grandkids by their sons or by their daughters, they're almost, really close in age to their daughters and stuff. And I don't know if mothers even do that nowadays, where they say, I'm going to train my younger daughter to train my younger daughter or younger women to love the husband and children and to be self-controlled. Now, don't you think that, that would be just obvious to love your husband and to love your children? So if it's putting that in there, maybe some women say, I'm with you, but that's only because you got the money and I'm having your children. The only reason I'm doing that is because if I don't, have sex with you or whatever, you're going to put me out or something like that. I could, that has to be there for a reason.
To love their husbands, to love their children, those are two foundational principles that help with procreation, I would imagine. Be the increase of being fruitful and multiplying, which was what we're commanded to do at the beginning. So, I don't know.
Yeah. And then to be self-controlled.
Right.
So as we read in that other scripture before about how to pick out like elders or elderly women or widows. And they said, not the younger ones, because they get those sexual desires and then they want to go out and take care of those physical needs. So maybe that's why it says something about being and to be self-controlled. So you're not, jumping from guy to guy, or you're trying to be faithful to your husband. Oh, wow. and be pure. And so it says to be busy at home and to be kind. So that means like in Proverbs 31, it says like this woman, she takes care of the business and her husband's really proud of her because she's able to manage that household. Right. So and then do you think that that's taught, or because I'm thinking like you watch your mother, you see what she does, or you watch your dad and you see what he does, and you sort of like you imitate that, but on your level.
Well, it's interesting that you bring this up because also in Titus chapter 2, starting in verse 6, it says, young men likewise exhort to be sober minded. Let's see, in all things show themselves patrons of good, gravity, sincerity, all kinds of sound speech that cannot be condemned, that just all kinds of cool stuff. So this word cuts both ways, talks to women, talks to men, talks to everybody equally. There's something in it for everybody if they choose to be servants of the word and to be obedient to it.
Yeah. And and I think, if mothers and dads, now it's flipped. I mean, in 50 years, with the President Johnson putting in this welfare thing, saying we'll pay you to keep the man out of the house, and a lot of women say, "Oh, I get pregnant, and if he can't afford it, then I'll get on welfare or do something like that, or I'll raise the child by myself." That philosophy of kicking the man out of the house, and the woman said, "I can be a father and a mother," and we see what's going on now with. I'm going to talk to Miss Nicole about that. In 2020, 200 up and coming hip hop artists were killed. And is it because of the toxicity of the music?
Well,
Always talking about like, I can beat you up, I can shoot you, I can do this,
yeah, I mean, that's some of it, but there's lots of, this is a topic that's been going around for 20, 30 years, this kind of thing within the music industry. It's not really about it at all,
Yeah. And it seems like, if the dads, even if you can't get along with the lady, you have that child, and that
Right.
child didn't ask to be here. You brought the child into the world. And so instead of like ducking and hiding and not, taking responsibility, I mean, either, my wife calls it like a weekend dad or something like that. And I know sometimes, we're talking about Kanye West. In this case, when I saw him on the Carl Tucker show, he said that his mother was a liberal, his dad was kind of like conservative, and so she was in theater and music, and she got this job because she had this PhD, and she got a job away, in another state. So she says she's leaving, she's taking Kanye, left, and she told her ex-husband at the time, "Don't follow us or you'll never see him again." And so she moved to this other state, and Kanye West said it was the worst neighborhood that he's ever known, because when he was with his dad, it was a middle-class neighborhood, and it was, it wasn't full of these gangsters and stuff. But that's where they lived, and she got this really good job, but they were living in a dangerous part of Chicago. And so the dad, he wanted to be there, but because of the mother, she said not to come. Now, then people started, saying that Kanye West was jealous because he bought a house next to Kim Kardashian. And he said he didn't buy that house so he can spy on who she's dating. He bought it because he remembered that with his father and mother, and he wanted his kids to know that he was always there.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Now, if you could do that, if you could buy a house next, and my thing was, I got job offers in other states, but I said, until my kids are old enough, I'm going to stay here in Colorado.
Yeah.
And now that I'm, they're out, and sometimes they complain that I'm not around for Christmas because I'm in Europe or something like that. And I said, they don't know that there was, I had a life before they were born, and I stopped that life to devote all my money, my spirit, my soul to them.
Yep.
And people, leaving the subject line, comments, but we're waiting for, I guess, Nicole, Eastern time. I don't know how you got it confused to say it was 11, but Oscar, he filled in and he said that he got that it would be on at 11. So I just text Don CEO, and I hope we don't have to reschedule this, because I did send the information to this young hip hop artist. What was that? Oh, okay. So as parents, you got to make sacrifices. And I know sometimes you might say that, well, there's a job over here. Well, how do you make that happen where your kid's over here? And then I know this one young lady, her one daughter is in Phoenix. The other daughter is in Denver, and she was in Georgia with the truck driving boyfriend or whatever. And I kept asking her, why don't you make up either bring one of your daughters there with you if this is a stable situation, or go to Phoenix, people one, or go to Denver. And in both cases, in Phoenix, the grandparents are raising her daughter, and the baby's daddy lived there too. And then in the other case, the daddy in Denver was raising the daughter. And have you ever known a woman that could just, say, oh, I squeezed those babies out of you, but you can go here and you can go there, and then they just live their life? Because I met, I think, 2 women like that. Have you ever met anybody like that, Alan?
I personally haven't, but I guess that's something that's getting to be more common. Children are looked at as an inconvenience as opposed to a great gift from God. And now that that's going on, why, that opens up a whole wow. Wow.
Or like the Catholic priest says, a lot of Catholic women, I guess, their dogs are their children, and this Catholic priest says having a dog is okay, but having a baby is even better. And you think, like, who are these women that have forgotten that, and that a Catholic priest would have to point that out?
Yeah.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we're supposed to have a hip hop artist, and I'm not sure what happened to this artist. I sent out the announcements 24 hours. One thing was wrong. I had the wrong passcode, and then I fixed that about an hour before and sent it out again. So it sent a reminder again, and maybe it went to the junk box before.
Oh, who knows? The miracle of modern technology. It's weird.
Yes. So we're having a conversation about hip hop influence, and next week we're going to be doing a show on how to get your music in the top 200 Billboard. So be looking out for that, and maybe we'll have some hip hop artists or some artists eventually. And we're going to try to get some more artists on our show, national and local, because I like talking to artists, because I want to see where the mindset is. Because even though I don't listen to a lot of the music today, I'm still interested in what's going on in that field, and what's the mindset of the people and the artists in that field. And so leave your comments below. And it's kind of like this way. I've done TV shows where I did this one TV show where the guest didn't show up because at the last minute he got stage fright. And and so me and my host said, hey, the show must go on. The crew is there, we had camera guys there, and everybody's in the booth. And I said, what should we do, Johnny? Should we cancel the show? And I said, hell no. Because I can talk, and Alan, hey, that's why I love him, man. He has a gift of gab.
And it's also called audibling at the same time.
Say that again. Auto?
You have to put an audible, so you have to. So it's audibling at the same time. You have to.
Yeah.
And I've had that happen to me a couple of times too, where a guest says, I would lock them down for my show, and they're like, oh yeah, well, I'll be there, and it's like 10 minutes before the show, it's like something happened. Or I remember once I was supposed to have a guest, and then right when I'm on air, oh man, I'm not able to make it. Something happened. I'm like, okay. I was like, all right. Yeah. So I hope that you all like to listen to me talk, because that's all you're going to be getting for the next hour or so.
Oh yeah. Me and Alan, we're pretty good at just talking. We can come up with different topics, and here we're almost like towards the end of the show, and I guess I should have got her phone number, I just had the email, sent out the Zoom thing, and that reminded everybody throughout the night that she was supposed to be on the show. And I know she has children, so maybe something emergency happened with the children. You never know.
Never know.
Things like that happen. But this was recommended to me by Don CEO, the winning team. And I hope this doesn't happen too often with the winning team. But we will see we'll see. Because tomorrow I was planning on covering some other topics that I have in mind. And then next week, I want to let everybody know that on PBS here in Colorado, and I'll put the link in there as soon as I get it from this young lady. She did this very in-depth interview with me, and she got pictures from my past, and then she got my movie Intervision, Even Me, and so she's going to intertwine this into the interview. So I don't know if the interview is going to be an hour, 30 minutes, but I'm going to get a link to that and really promote it, because it's going to be on. I don't know if it's going to be on Friday or Saturday, but I'll let you know more about that, and hopefully we can get that going and stuff like that, and it's going to be fun. Want to let people know that we do need your donations. You can go to paypal.me/InnovisionDenver and donate $5, $10 with 1,704 people. If all of you just donated $5, we'll be set.
You'd be set. Well,
Yeah.
Things are getting to be a bit expensive, so.
Oh yeah.
It
Because
is.
I just put together the budget for 2023. Yeah, my mind went blank.
Start saying.
And it came up to 27,000 a month. And then I had another one that it came up to, and then it came up to 82,000 some odd dollars for a 3-month period. So right now we're writing grants, and we're looking at this grant for $50,000, and we're looking for some other grants as well, which I'm going to be meeting with the grant lady at 10 o'clock. And how about defunding NPR and giving us Innovision FM?
Fund NPR.
Yeah.
A lot more exciting than NPR.
That might be a subject we would talk about. NPR brought this. They're taking these books out, these LGBTQ books out of the school, not because they are against LGBTQ people, but in this book, it had graphic depictions on how to give oral sex, and this is for kids that are 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm thinking, like, what would a 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 child need to have pornographic books showing them how to do pornographic things at that age?
Wow.
And so NPR brought this lady or whatever it was on the show, and did not point out that in the books that they pulled out of the school, it had these pornographic pictures.
Well, that's hard to point out, because you can't point it out because it's against probably policies. And so, oh my.
Yeah. So fund us here at Innovision FM, and we'll have that artist, we'll have that book writer who's offended that those books were taken out of the public schools, and we'll point out. What about on page 10, where you showing how to give fellatio? Do you think that's appropriate for a 7, 6, 8, 9, 10-year-old child to see? Right. Man, I would love it. I would love to have that person on the show and answer these questions. And then you can see why parents are going to these PTA meetings, outrage and yelling, and they're getting arrested because they said, we don't want our children to be taught porn. Simple. Teach
Yep.
them reading, writing, math, and arithmetic. And anything above that, ask us.
Yep.
You know, but I'm a granddad, and so I have grandkids, so I sometimes wonder. And I tell my daughters, and they're on top of it. So, okay. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's been interesting. Miss Nicole was not here, and maybe she'll be here tomorrow. So we'll see you guys tomorrow with a bunch of topics. And thank you for joining us. And if you want to be on the show, info@innovationfm.com. info@innovationfm.com.
That's right. God bless everybody.
All right.
We'll see you tomorrow, Lord willing.
All right.